This is the limestone lowdown. Hear the sound when you lie through the issues all around. From every corner, let's make it clear. The change we need is starting here.
Hey everybody, welcome to the latest edition of the Limestone Lowdown, the January 27th, 25 City Council meeting. What started off, we didn't think it was going to be a very eventful meeting, turned out to be quite the opposite.
It's always eventful though.
Oh, wherever we go, it's always eventful?
Yeah, there's a few, wherever our little posse goes.
Yeah, I was going to say our little posse of people now.
This is like the shortest amount of like agenda items. Like there were no public hearings this week. We had a travel request. We had the first one was there was a resolution to set a public hearing for February 24th for a rezoning request for 3.93 acres of the property located south of West Washington Street and directly east of Lucas Ferry. This was for the city planner, Aaron Tidwell.
But it doesn't really tell you anything. I mean,
I emailed her.
We know where it's at simply because it's right down the street from our house and it's really close to the intermediate school. But if we did not know, we wouldn't have a clue because there's literally zero information other than 3.93 acres is going to be rezoned. Rezoned for what? For what purpose?
Well, I emailed her and asked. Did she get up and speak? That was before I got there yesterday.
No, she didn't.
So, it is, which you know where the 3 acres is. It's I think it's actually a business corner, and it's now going to like residential or business residential or something. I think they're just going to add more houses.
Of course they are.
Yeah, I think I emailed, like she sent me a picture of the map, which again, this is February 24th, so we won't really see the map until the February 24th council meeting because they don't like to keep anything. My response to her was, what is this going to be used for?
Mm-hmm.
And I still haven't heard back from her on that. But I mean, that was just yesterday that I emailed. But so there was that. Then we go into the resolution to allocate $2.5 million from the FY24 for capital expenditures. I think I emailed about this yesterday too. And then someone actually got up and spoke on it, that they wanted a breakout of that $2.5 million. They did go over those numbers at the city council.
I believe you wrote them down.
I didn't write all of them down.
You wrote down a few of them, though. You could go over those few because it's significant numbers.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe there was some that I missed out, but anyways, they went over basically which department is going to be allocated that $2.5 million. But I even want an expenditure from that. Like, what are they doing with it? So what I've got written down was $675,000 is going to the police department, $150,000 going to the fire department, $175,000 to the safety department, $950,000 to the sanitation department, $105,000 to IT, and then there were some other ones that I didn't catch because they were saying it faster than I could write them down. But so apparently there was, a surplus of money, so the different departments came in.
It was crazy how the mayor kept talking about how conservative we're just so conservative. It's like, if you have to keep saying something, are you trying to convince us or yourself? I don't really know.
Well, then,
it was crazy.
On the next one, it was and I'm guessing this front loader garbage truck is for the sanitation department for $404,000. So I'm guessing
that was part of that.
There. Yeah. Which, I mean, we need, that's fine. I was just saying that's where that was one of the topic of the items. One of the things they did, a lot of like approvals of like adopting the organizational charts for several positions. Specifically, one of them that I got up and asked some questions about was a resolution to adopt a job description for the mayor's office for communications and grants manager and a communications specialist. The next one is ordinance to amend to add a job title of communications and grants manager and communications specialist, and then to delete the job title of communications coordinator. So, interesting story about that. If you look at how the city's org chart goes, it's the mayor, which is Ronnie Marks, and within the mayor's office, he's got one position. Not even his secretary is listed there. One position. His communications director, which is Miss Holly Holman. So they are doing away with that coordinator position and I guess promoting her to communications and grant manager. And then they're going to essentially create her an assistant to be a communications specialist. But Holly is up the mayor's rear end all the time, everywhere they go. I doubt she sends that specialist out to do all of her PR.
She's still going to be the special assistant to the mayor, right?
Oh, well, for sure. She's been that special assistant
for 10 plus years.
That rumor has it. It's the alleged rumor. It's the worst kept secret in the city of Athens.
That they have a special relationship. Supposedly. That's all we can say about that.
That's been told by dozens of people. But we just kind of found it funny that, and when I asked the mayor about it, he got very squirmy. He was like, we created that better to serve you.
And inform you, says the man that's cut off the Facebook comments and the live stream comments. But okay.
Right.
We want that better service, right? But also, I believe in the past, he's also tried to make her the assistant mayor.
Or deputy mayor.
Assistant deputy, and at least the city council voted that down. But they voted 5-0. Imagine that. That's all we get is 5-0 votes. So.
Yeah, they all voted in favor to do that, which I didn't know. I thought that maybe our 3 older ones would maybe vote against that because they would be able to see...
the favoritism.
Us calling them out. Like,
what's crazy is when the... What James Rich, when he retired, the city manager, was that his title? Something like that? With James Rich, when he, like I was saying, when he retired, they hired an outside firm for $18,000 to solicit all these candidates. So if we're creating a managerial position that level, why would it not also go out? Why would that not be part of that same thing? I was thinking
that too. Why would we hire a hiring firm basically to go and find positions, but not for this? It's just very
Seems like it's almost like specially created for just a certain person, right? I don't know.
Oh, I'd venture to say it is.
Well, we know who that person is because they had...
Well, they're literally...
They or the mayor or whoever had people there to speak on behalf.
Well, they're literally doing away with her director position. Like, the communications director, it's going away.
But it's specialist.
No. It says... The ordinance to add job titles communications and grants manager and communications specialist and to delete the job title communications coordinator. So they're essentially doing away with her position and then created 2 slots, a manager and a specialist.
But she's going to be a communications manager and a grant specialist.
No, she's going to be the communications and grant manager. But what I'm saying is she won't have to compete for it. She's just going to slide into it.
I know, and I'm saying that's kind of the issue.
And then they're going to hire a communications specialist. Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Same page. But in essence, what I'm saying though is like, why is that not being bid out to the public? Why was that just ordained for her?
Yeah, why does she not have to compete for it?
And if it's such a level as that, does she have the educational background? I know she's been doing it, but what are we talking about? Going from 5 grants a year, 10 grants a year to 25, 30?
Well, I've never heard them really talk about grants until the last 6 months, which I mean, obviously we've just kind of been going, but they've mentioned applying for the grant with Strain Road. I don't even know if they've applied for that yet or if they're just still waiting. The grant for the Sunrise Park, the splash pad, are they getting a grant for it?
Supposedly.
And then there's the Swan Creek is a grant. And then there was another grant that was in here, but I think that was for, I think another department was actually applying for a grant. So
Yes, right there.
yeah, but it says Holly it says resolution authorized the mayor's office to apply. With that Swan Creek, no, there was another one. Hold on. There was another grant.
Right here.
Oh, there it is.
Resolution T authorizes
For
the
the
city
yeah.
engineer to apply. So my question is the city engineer doing it, or would the grant?
Well, it's got Michael Griffin, which is the city engineer, so it wouldn't be Holly. It wouldn't be that Holly doing it. So
that's kind of weird.
So we know of 3 grants, and sorry y'all, if y'all hear our little French bulldog, she breathes really loud and she's in here. So if you hear her, sorry. But yeah, so we know of just 3 or 4 grants, and I don't even know if they're doing anything with the Strain Road one. We need to ask them about that again, because that one is in an active lawsuit that's going on. But anyways, just to kind of bring you up to speed.
So there was kind of all the agenda items that nothing really.
Oh no,
What?
the guy.
Oh no, I'm saying on the normal agenda items as far as anything going on other than they got the keys to the building, basically the Green Street building, where they can bring all the utilities and everything back together, which they broke apart when they sold all that properties back in 21.
So that the $1 million for the
Correct.
old PNC bank.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
so
what
yeah.
what Shane Black, the city attorney, was like. They basically have the keys now.
Yeah,
It's
so they
settled.
sold it last week, and then they're gonna start. I guess
They bought it. Officially bought it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that means sold it. They officially bought it last week.
Correct. So that's officially the city of Athens. There's another $1 million.
I know. I'm really starting to worry. Like when we looked at the financial statement, we were over like a $3.4 or $7 million surplus, and when you start thinking about the money that is forked out, like $1 million for this building,
$1 million for the new Publix and infrastructure.
Yes, $1 million for that, and then if we get this Swine Creek,
it's a matching grant.
$1
million for $1 million,
and the max you can get is $1 million. So it's $3 million.
But they're so conservative.
But they're right. So where's all of our money? So then that puts us at less than $1 million in surplus. And then the bids. You were saying that the bids for the splash pad several years ago. I mean, obviously, like the cost, the way the economy has been, it's nearly
$7 million.
Yeah,
$7 million was a quote a few years ago, and now I've heard
15.
like 15. Yeah.
So if that's double, that means that we're going to have to put more towards that. Which again, I think that the community needs it. But
yeah, because there's nothing for kids to do around here.
But at what expense? I mean, is this one other thing that like our property taxes are going up? Like nearly.
I'm sure.
I mean, in 5 years, y'all, our property taxes went from like $1,100 to $1,900. And that our house payment has went up hundreds of dollars because of this, and it's very frustrating because you move here like 5 years ago and $1,100 for our property tax, and then now it's $1,900. So it's like we're paying for all that, and then we're giving abatements to businesses,
millions in abatements,
incentives.
Millions.
It just brings a lot of questions. Again,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The Ross, TJ Maxx, we're actually giving the developer $1.9 million.
Yeah, we're not even giving it to the businesses.
Years.
Like we're giving it just to the developer, which is a local developer. Again, he's part of like the in crowd.
So that's another $6 million, and I don't know when that is due. So that's $1.9 million right there. So
we're in the hole.
Yeah,
that puts us in the hole.
Yeah.
It's very odd. I mean, when you think about it,
the budget, and it's crazy. He mentioned it last night. I'll send it to anybody. Well, we've looked at it. I've seen church budgets more detailed than this. It is just so generic. It's like, the street department's getting $1 million. Okay, well, how much of that is equipment? How much of that is employees, overtime, et cetera, et cetera? It's like, it don't tell you anything.
Yeah. Well,
it's just like the agenda stuff. It don't tell you anything. It's just like the bare bones minimum but there's no depth to it.
Yeah.
And that's what we continually ask. This is the 21st century. Information is power. Hit us with it. You could, and then the craziest thing is they're adding items last night and said, "Oh, we apologize. Our right hand person was sick." Nobody knows how to type. Nobody knows how to type and add to the agenda.
What's funny is I had to call the mayor's office yesterday and talk to Miss Kim, his secretary. She's very, very sweet, but she was sounding hoarse on the phone yesterday, and I was asking her about some of the agenda items to get some clarification, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I was out all last week with RSV. I didn't do the agenda." So someone else did the agenda for her.
But not everything was on there, so when we get there, when we get to a letter, it ends with you, but then they kept going. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Well, that was funny because at when they mentioned that about buying the PNC building, that one wasn't on there either. They just came in there and slid that on there, like, we're spending $1 million for this building. And yeah, that makes more sense.
She wasn't sick then, was she?
No, it's just like they come in and slide this stuff in, like this stuff, and they don't put the details. I mean, they just literally say, they don't say like the old PNC building, they just say building off of Green Street, but they don't talk about what it's going to be used for. Like, none of that's here. We have asked like for more of a read ahead, for more clarification, because at the end of the day, our tax dollars are what pays all of their salaries, and anytime the money that the city puts up, it's our tax dollars. I mean, we have a right to question everything that they do. And like Jared said, the budget is like, we've seen church budgets more detailed than this. Like, the salaries aren't even in there. It's just like a
big pot of money.
A big pot of money. There's no breakout of like, what the mayor makes, but like there's no, like, this communications manager.
What's that going to go up to? How much?
And that's going to be that subtracts the, then that goes down to your engineers, the inspectors, like.
But that kind of goes back to what we said before, that we believe wholeheartedly that these departments need to be broken off from the city council and they need to be their own entities, and that way it clears up a lot of this. Like, would have, I know they have it broken down. Okay, let's say the utilities budget is $15 million. But it's not. But that's within the city council giving them that $15 million. It's not like they're their own entity and they have $15 million and a manager that is managing that and gets to make that decision. Everything has to go through the city council,
and that's why there are people that work for the city that are afraid to say anything or stand up for what is right, because essentially their job depends on it. I mean, if you go against the grain, your job's going to be threatened, and if you say something to the wrong person, they're going to go tell on you, which it's going to get back.
That's why we're a glitch in the system. They can't control us because our salaries, our lives, nothing depends on the city of Athens. So we can say and do whatever we want to.
But like the people that are like, there's people that support us that work for the city and within the different departments. They just, they fear that they can't say anything. I mean, it's kind of like this $2.5 million that they allocated to each department. You basically have to apply, like the sanitation department got $900 and something thousand. I'm sure because they had to buy a new truck, where they wouldn't have had to wait on the city council to approve this pot of money that they basically probably had to go and solicit for and apply for, where if it's operated out of their own pot of money and they don't answer to anybody, that's the way that the system is designed. I mean, any large surrounding area, they're their own, like Huntsville Utilities, they have their own board, they operate as their own entity. HPD, Huntsville Police Department, they operate this same way. The council, the city council has its own jobs within the city that's affiliated with both of those, I'm sure, but they're not literally over those departments. But so money is the root of all evil. Money is what makes the world go round. Follow the money, and that's where when we see anything about spending money, we're like, what in the world?
Well, I think you need to move on to we were talking about it not being on there, but we wrote it down. So go ahead and talk about number V there.
Well, I wasn't there to actually hear what it was titled, so I think you're better.
I don't know what it was titled. All I heard was, I guess, ICE and the city of Athens are going to start working together for a potential immigrant illegal immigrant issue that we've been having, and then it was saying that if the Athens PD can't themselves start something, but they can basically jump on if ICE is doing a pickup or operation or whatever, and they're authorized overtime, that ICE would pay the Athens City Police Department's overtime. And
ICE would?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then that they would also have access to ICE like databases or whatever. Mm-hmm. So maybe some of these, seems to be a lot of illegal immigrants using false identifications here recently. Maybe help identify who these people really are. Because remember the other day, that one that got caught for molesting the child, he was using a fake name, false. Yeah. So hopefully it'll help with that.
That was the first time that was the one that they slid in on us.
Kind of out of left field.
Yeah.
Right.
And we didn't even talk about this when this got started. The metal detectors, like, we didn't even talk that, they are so paranoid about seeing us show up. It's like every meeting, like, they bring out something new. They've had the metal detectors for a minute, like in the hall, but this was the first time that they had them on, and where we had to like walk through. They had to go through my purse. It's almost comical at this point.
I mean, I would be more afraid of one of them getting mad and shooting me than me shooting them. Like, they're the ones that are getting mad. It's not me. Right. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you how I feel about something.
Did they have to go through that?
I don't know.
Well, and the mayor came in from the back.
Yeah, you're right. And Mr. Seibert definitely didn't come through there because I was standing there. He made a hole all the way around the building. So, no, he did not go through there.
None of them do.
So, yeah, we need to bring that up, too. Why should the public have to go through it if you guys don't?
Right.
Like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you either.
Right. Yeah.
Good point. But that's the city's MO, isn't it? Do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think you need to talk about the, what was that, Premier Power coming out swinging? And this just goes to show you, we feel like these same contractors, the same people were getting the business from the city of Athens over and over again. I'm really surprised it was actually bid out, because this was the first time I've heard that anything was even bid out.
Yeah.
But this is just like a little behind the scenes how the sausage is made, because one of the contractors that bid on the project showed up and was asking why he didn't get it, because he's like, nobody's returning my calls, nobody's whatever. I spent 2 weeks of my time, and I'm the lowest by over $400,000.
So a guy got somebody with it's his company, Premier Power, out of Jacksonville, because you have to get up and give your name and your address. And so he drove here from Jacksonville and basically wanted to ask the city and the mayor why, if he was the lowest bidder by over $420,000, why was he not awarded it? The most information that he could get was because of experience. Well, he said that he had just started his own company 7 months ago, but he himself has got over 27 years experience, but he wanted to go out and start his own company, and they solicited him to want to put in for this bid. Now, Taylor,
and he said they are literally doing business for the Madison.
I was going to get to that.
Okay, my bad. Goodness, girl.
I was trying to. Well, I was talking. So he did say, I went and sat beside him and got some of information from him. They solicited him and asked him to do a bid. They said that like Jared said, it was going to took 2 weeks to do. And he knew all the people that put the bid in. See, I was like asking him a question, like, I wonder what their association is to the city. Like Jared said, Grayson and Carter is the ones that typically win. I'm surprised at it, but I've never heard of Power. Well, I've never heard of Taylor Electric. Have you? No. So I wasn't sure if but they're like, no, I know them. Like, they're great guys, da-da-da-da. But I didn't know what the affiliation to the city was. And then he went in to say, like, he's been doing work in Madison County, that he's got a large bid there, and he went into explaining some
Alabama Power.
Yeah, Alabama Power. He was talking about some of the big poles that he was doing. It's like a specialized
80 foot tall power pole somewhere in Madison, and he said that's not easy and it's very specialized. But basically, it comes down to, don't say that, oh, he's only been doing this 7 months, so that's the reason he didn't get it. That's their excuse. But
he's over $420,000.
Seems to me
cheaper.
you could use that to even broach with whoever you wanted to award it to and say, listen, they're $400,000 less, so you're gonna have to meet us somewhere, at least halfway with that.
Yeah.
But there was none of that. And the funny thing was, the mayor started squirming. I don't know if this guy just came in whacking, and it just made him squirm. And the guy was like, "You can direct it to their utilities people or whatever." And he's like, "They won't answer my calls."
That's
And the
why I'm
mayor's
here.
like, "I'll answer your calls." And it's like, "Oh, okay."
Just to kind of shut him up and make him go sit down.
Because this was all on video. This part was all on video,
Right.
so it's kind of hard, and it's live, so you can't really go back after the fact and do any damage control. You've got to just make it look good in that moment. But I do applaud them for doing that, and that does call in the bigger question of how many other times has this happened,
And they just
and we
didn't.
don't know about it. How much has the city of Athens overpaid for the good old boy system?
Right.
Their friends, whatever connections they are, we don't even have a clue. And the city of Athens, literally us, ourselves, our tax dollars are overpaying for unnecessary things when it could be.
Well, and because that Premier Power is not doing it like super, super, super cheap. I mean, it's probably fairly comparable because they do contracts with Alabama Power, Madison County, Madison.
It's like, if they trust them, why would we not trust them?
And why would you go solicit them if you were going to make them waste 2 weeks of their time and see? So it just brings in a lot of questions. We need to remember to ask that in 2 weeks, like ask them whatever came of that item. Because it's going to act like it just went
they're
away.
going to act like it never happened. And then, of course, we got up and said the normal, Facebook comments still shut off, live stream still cut off, and there was nothing. If anything, he got more haughty and angry about it. And I put the council on blast too. Like, you guys know about it, and you guys just sit there and don't do anything about it. So, and again, they just sat there and did nothing.
Well, there was a guy that got up after you, and he told him that
he agreed.
Yeah, that it needed to be cut back on.
And I believe that was the president of the NAACP, Mr. Woodruff, is the one that did that.
Yeah, and then we can't forget about our buddy Mark.
We love Mark.
Oh, we do love Mark.
He he called out some families, and he called out Cybert, and Cybert got a little angry.
Yeah.
But Mark is just asking simple questions about why his houses get special treatment.
Why do they put
the new sewer stuff in front of his houses, and they reline the old sewer system everywhere else?
And they've put new sidewalks in front of Cybert's houses too. We've
Correct.
seen that. But yeah, so our councilman, Mr. Cybert, he kind of snapped at Mark about telling lies and not saying truths. And Mark, he definitely got back on him and said that, you're going to quit threatening me, and next time you want to serve me with something, you put it at my house and not at my mama's house. And he gave him his address. So
again, which we have to do every time we get up there. So that was intentional.
Yeah.
It wasn't like oops.
He put him on blast to say, hey, quit trying to threaten me. I'm sick of it. And we know how that feels. So yeah, that was kind of the gist of the city council meeting. Of course, we didn't think that there was going to be long or eventful, but it seems to be. There's always something good that happens.
And it goes back to, if you don't call them out, they won't do anything. They won't do the right thing unless you call them out.
And we've got to keep calling them out. We got to remember to. I'm going to have to remember to ask about that Premier Power and what the status of that is. But anyways, till next time, guys. Thanks for listening in.
Thank you. Bye.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Limestone Lowdown, where we break down the issues, keep you informed, and give you facts straight from the source. Remember, your voice matters. Your vote counts, and your community thrives when we stay engaged. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay involved. Until next time, keep questioning, keep advocating, and keep shaping the future of the Limestone area. We'll see you on the next Limestone Lowdown.